There we go.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rewind with Ro. I'm your host, Ro Carter, live from Japan. And then I have my co-host with me, Rob. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I wish I was in Japan though. I'm a little jealous.
I mean, let me give everybody a little view, just on the scenery, so you can see.
I mean,
It's beautiful out here. It's clean. It's nice. I mean, I think I lost 5 pounds already. It's
is it hot?
coming back. It's like 60.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Yeah,
but
this
why
is
you out there losing weight?
I mean, sushi and
I mean, give me an explanation. You can't just say
mean,
you out there losing weight now.
long walks and just healthy. Like they are so healthy and clean. It is so crazy. Like I couldn't find a garbage anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Like you take your garbage home with you. Like that is. I was like, this wouldn't last one day in New York. Not one day in New York. So
or
LA.
certain.
Yes, or just in the U.S. in general. I mean, there's certain things that I'm getting used to here, but it is just a breath of fresh air. And I haven't gotten the weird stares yet, so I'm still good. I was told, I'm like, you look so cute.
They don't want to take pictures with you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in real life, so I haven't gotten that. I got a couple of stares, but nothing too crazy. So everybody's been very nice.
Too crazy.
Yes. How are you, Rob?
I'm good. It's been a good week. Can't complain. Well, we can always find something to complain about, but I choose not to.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my dog just wants to walk around right now. She wants to make as much noise as possible.
It's all good. So week's been a little bit crazy. I've been checking into the news. So before I left, 2 things happened. One when I was on the plane, and one the weekend before. Dave Chappelle was on SNL, and he gave like a 15-minute monologue that was basically like a stand-up special in a way. Talked about Kanye, talked about Kyrie, talked about a lot of things. I don't want to get into the political side of that, but I want to know, what do you think of the monologue? Not even if it's valid, but just what did you think? Did it hit everybody saying one thing and other people were saying other things? How did you feel overall? Because that's the worst thing. I hate when people comment and never saw it. So I've asked some people, did you see it? I was like, yeah, but he shouldn't be. I was like, did you see it?
Number one question, did you see
it? And so I text everybody the thread just so they can see it. And we did it on Black Film. We kind of looked at it and everybody had their own opinion. But some of that hit home and resonated. And there's proper ways to speak on things without going crazy or sounding crazy. And so I thought he did an excellent job of bringing that together and speaking on that. What did you think?
I'll say I thought overall his appearance on SNL was great. I loved the bits that he came up with. My favorite was, of course, the House of Dragon.
House of Dragon was good. Yeah. Overall, the show was great. Yeah.
Overall, the show was great. The opening, I know it's been controversial, but I say this, and like I've heard a lot of people talk about this, but the moment we like start hardcore censoring comedy is when like I think society dies, because comedy is one of those spaces where I think if it's artfully done and if it's smartly done, and I think Dave Chappelle is a very smart comedian. He's not a crass comedian, and I don't think Dave Chappelle ever has the intention of insulting people, even when he talks about like the LGBTQ plus community, which I'm a part of, so I can have that conversation. But when he has these conversations, it's very smart. It's a very smart way of approaching them. And I think what he does is he forces us as viewers and us as his audience to have a dialogue about the topics he's talking about. And when we start to have a dialogue is when we start to have a connection as human beings, as opposed to us not being able to relate or have conversations or separating ourselves into groups and talking amongst ourselves and never finding a point of connection. And I think that's what he does very well, is he brings conversations to the forefront, makes us talk about them. And through his comedy, he brings up topics in a very smart way. And he outlines the conversation so that when we go back into our spaces, we talk about the full breadth of the conversation and not just a moment in it. And I think that's what's so smart about what he does. I think, it's a sensitive topic. It's very sensitive right now because it's at the height of it because of everything that happened with other individuals. So I won't go, like you said, into a political conversation with it, but I do think we have to be very careful when we start trying to censor comedians from creating conversation through their art. because it's completely different than someone going on a radio show and saying something that's crass and ridiculous and disgusting.
Yeah, outlandish and stuff like that. I apologize, people, in advance. I'm in a lobby at my hotel, so if you hear a little jazz, just go with it. If you need me to speak up, please comment. I'm sorry. Uh, so anyway, going into that, another thing that's happened recently, Trump has decided to run for another term, and I am
Oh
so
Lord.
excited, Rob. I am so excited because to see him and Rob DeSantis go at it, or just the amount of people that are going to run, it's going to be comedy, and I'm going to love every minute of it. I'm cherishing it. I mean, it's still awful, but my own personal opinion, not black film, but I'm looking forward to just laughing again, crying as well, but laughing and crying again. But hopefully things get changed and things can happen on a positive note. Any thoughts on that, Rob?
Well, yeah, my fear is this, that and not to your point, my fear is this, and now I feel like I'm on The View. I love The View though. My fear is this. I fear that people are going to be like, "Oh, he's a joke," and they're going to take it as a joke, and no one's going to take him seriously, and then we're going to end up back right where we were. So I think we have to keep our eye on the prize and be very aware that that man says what he wants to do. He says it very clearly and plainly, and then we end up in that situation that we were
Yeah.
in. So yeah.
Don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him.
Don't sleep on. And the way the midterms turned out, I'm glad people turned out to vote, and they
Yeah.
voted very clearly. And I think it was very anti him and anti like far
The craziness,
extremism.
yes.
Yeah. So hopefully people turn out again, and we don't have to deal with the craziness.
Your comment reminded me of Eddie Murphy back in the day when he was making the joke. I think it was on Raw or Delirious, and he was like, you know what? When Reggie Jackson was running for president, Jesse Jackson, Reggie Jackson, baseball player. Sorry, Jesse Jackson was running for president, and he was like, some white guys get drunk and they go into like, oh, I voted for Jesse Jackson, and they go into the booth, and the next day he won. Yeah. So yes, I'm afraid that may happen again.
Yeah.
Can we please press charges, please? Anyway, let's move on. We have an amazing topic tonight. The movie is Wakanda Forever. It's the second edition to the Black Panther series under Marvel and Disney. I had the pleasure to talk to some amazing people about this film through blackfilm.com. I spoke to Ryan Coogler. I spoke to Danae Gurria, who plays Okoye. Sorry, I'm pronunciating again. I've been speaking a lot of Japanese over here trying. So Okoye. And then I spoke to also Atuma and Namora. Their characters Alex Lebanali and Mabel Candida. They were amazing people. Those interviews are still coming up. So we have a couple of them up right now on blackfilm.com.
And don't forget about Sope Aluka, which was a great.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sope Aluka, we did 30 minutes. We went in. So I'll post that up as well today. You can see that. So deep conversations.
And you spoke with Ludwig Göransson, which I thought was a phenomenal interview.
Thank you, Rob. I asked questions that he didn't think I was going to ask. The music background of that'll post up as well. Rob's reminding me of what I'm sorry. I'm on. It's 11 o'clock here. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, so that's why I have shades on. So different energy, different everything. But first off, what did you think of the film?
No, of course. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I'm going to make a decision.
I loved it. I loved it. You always pick a movie I'm going to really love and then expect me to give it like a 2. So I loved it. And
what did you love about it, Rob?
I love the pride that comes with a movie like this. I love seeing like groups of people going to the movie theater in African garb. I love seeing like fraternities and sororities showing up in big droves to go support a movie like this. So I love the fandom that comes with comic book films. So I really do, one, love the energy around it. And then 2, I love that they introduced this whole new world, which I was not expecting. Thinking of a sequel to Black Panther, I would have never thought they would have introduced a whole new world, right? Yeah. So I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was a phenomenal direction to go. And Just hearing people talk about the experience of the underwater world and having to learn, a new skill to even be a part of filming it, I thought was amazing. So yes, kudos. Go ahead. What were we
Well,
gonna? What were you gonna say?
let me add this in. Sorry for people that's tuning in. So we're doing Wakanda Forever. We're talking on that. So Wakanda Forever, if you haven't seen it yet, it's been out in the theaters now almost 2 weeks. Number one in the box office. Not as crazy numbers as it did for the first one, but still, I mean, good numbers for a sequel, and especially Black Panther. So shout out to Ryan Coogler and the cast of Black Film. I'm sorry, of Wakanda Forever. So basically, it starts off with King T'Challa is dead. The king is dead, and the women of Wakanda have to fight to protect their nation. And so, in doing so, you see, I mean, let me tell you something. The fight scenes, you love the fight scenes in the first film. You feel the energy and the drum hitting. I was like, ooh, goosebumps down your back, and it was amazing to feel that. I mean, when you talk about women empowerment, this movie is just like, boom, women are slaying this movie left and right. So I really love that you got to see that on the screen. Um, they added some new people in. I will go into that a little bit later. That I wasn't like, maybe unnecessary. Um, but there are some amazing cameos as well that you get to see. So I love that Vibranium is in more than one place in Wakanda, and so now we're going to introduce a new character named Namor. He is the underwater god, Mayan god. So his people are like badass. I mean, the fight scenes are amazing, but they want to work with Wakanda. But Wakanda's like, listen, we're about all the people, and Namor's like, we ain't about that. We want these people out of our land. And so it's kind of like the story of all times, right? The Native Americans giving their land up and seeing the bigger picture of what's going to happen. It's going to be taken all away from you. And so Namor kind of knows that, and he's seen it before by flashbacks. You go back into his time as a young kid and seeing white settlers come in and just take everything from them. And so it speaks a lot to the culture, right, of what we have and what we try to hold on to. Angela Bassett, shout out to her, gave an amazing performance. I mean, when I heard her voice, that was like mama, grandma, like every, every strong black woman under the sun. And when she spoke up and said, no, you're not going to take advantage of us now just because our king is dead. It's not going to happen up in here. So I love the film for that. I think that was the best part of the film. And it was a memorial to Chadwick. I mean, I was balling in this freaking movie. They listen, you go in there with tissues. It's a little bit different than what Marvel gives you. And so when I spoke to Ryan Coogler, I was like, are Marvel fans going to be happy? He's like, it's bigger than Marvel, man. I love Chadwick. He's my brother. And so we lost our brother, and you feel that energy, the way they pay homage to him. In the beginning of the movie, it just chills down your spine. I mean, it was beautifully done. That's how I want to go out. I'll tell you right now, I want to go when I die. Please do it. What kind of theme with Boys to Men in the background? That's what I say. But anyway, did you feel there was anything that was unnecessary in the film, or you beginning to end, you were like solid film all around compared to the first one, or it was a decent sequel?
No, I think it was a strong sequel. Like I said, it took the story in a direction that was unexpected for me. I didn't think I didn't think they were going to introduce, all of these new characters in this whole new world that was interacting with the people of Wakanda. I just did not expect it, and I thought it was a great. I thought it was a great. I always say this word, and I don't want to say juxtaposition of like the people in that kingdom as opposed to the ones in the underwater world. And like you said, the battle scenes were epic. I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 hours of it. It was
they could have cut 30 minutes out. They could have cut 30 minutes out. Let's be honest. 30 minutes.
But I thought, like you said, I think like you said, a lot of that was, them setting up, paying homage to Chadwick Boseman's character, and to him as their king, and saying goodbye to their king. And so I think it had to be, long extended to pay honor to him, because he was such a powerful force in the film. And not only in the film, he became a powerful force for us as a community and little Black kids everywhere who and now had this powerful Black superhero to look up to. So I think it was important for them to pay homage to him in that way, and I was okay with the 3 hour length. I thought it really helped progress the story along. But you felt like, did you feel like there were some parts that could have been left out?
I mean, I just felt some scenes were forced, right? It's like you don't doing spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert.
Oh, maybe we should.
Maybe should, well, they introduced a new character that is very smart, young Black woman, which I love on screen to see that. But there's a new suit, and they've shown that on the screen already on the preview. So the Iron Man version of a suit comes back again. I'm like, come on, man, let the man just rest in peace. Leave that alone. We can be better, right? Thinking outside the box.
But I was gonna say I really enjoyed one of the things I think that they do well, Marvel, is adding humor into their films.
Oh yeah.
Like the comedy aspect is always there, and I thought her and Denai's character, that whole scenario with them, I thought it was very, very funny. That brought a lot of humor to the film to me. When we know we're going to see all these battles throughout the film, those were like lighter moments that gave us like a little bit of breath between the fighting. So I enjoyed those lighter moments, those funnier moments, and I thought it was great. What?
He'll never say a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a film review, this is the man you get. He will not say a negative thing humanly possible.
I will. You just always pick good movies. You want to do like The Woman King and Wakanda Forever. Come on now. You got to pick a bad movie.
All right.
Give me a movie I can give a 0 to. I'm going to do it.
You got to get a 0. Just be a little, everything was great.
Challenge accepted. Bring me a 0 and I'm going to give it a 0.
Well, again, compared to the first one, again, it was, I don't want to say it's lackluster. It just wasn't as for me. For Marvel, I need like boom, boom. I was excited. I came out of here just demoralized at the end. Because we lose another character in this film. I don't want to give it away who it was, but that was a big part. And I was like, damn, man, we just started the film off with someone going, losing T'Challa, and now we're gonna lose somebody else. I was like, come on, guys, give me something. Stay to the end, people, because there's a little surprise for you at the end of the film. So please, I love when people tell me that, so I stay to the end. If I was to criticize the movie at all, there were little things that were just, I think, unnecessary and forced. Namor's character, I think they could have gone a little bit more to the underworld, right? It's like they try to give you his whole background in 20 minutes, right? And I was like, you can't really feel the underworld. And the beautiful thing about Wakanda, when they introduced it to us, they really took time to really set us in there and understand what was going on. And I mean, what do you think, right? Do you think I could have got a little bit more time to understand Namor a little bit more and understand why he felt this way and why there was no other way to just speak to him? He only spoke one tongue. It was just like, no, get out of our way or we're going to kill you. And so I wanted to know why. I don't think they showed enough why he was so angry. They give you a little background, but build that character a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see if they give him his own film, because it's a solid character. And shout out to Namora. He plays his sister. She plays his sister in the movie. And Mabel Cadena, she is badass. And also Tuma, he's like his bodyguard, man. These two people, when you get on the screen, and like the ladies of Wakanda are just strong and they have that energy. But when you see them clasp somebody who has that same energy, you're like, oh, you got to put respect on them. Put respect on their name. And so I love when you saw two powerful characters, Latin characters and Black characters on screen together, and there's a story that's deeper than a movie, right? The messaging of like, hey, at the end, we need to work together in order for both of us to succeed. I thought that was very powerful. What did you think about that?
Yeah, and I think something you just said, I think was important. I think maybe there is a possibility that there'll be a greater story told from his perspective. But because this film is about Wakanda Forever, I wouldn't have wanted to see a 40-minute segment about his world.
Okay.
Too much for me. because this is I think we're living it from the perspective of the Wakandans. So I think they gave us just enough for us to
Just
understand.
enough, just a
Yeah,
taste.
they gave us just a taste of it so we can understand that he did have like a troubled past. He did have some trauma that he was dealing with that caused him to be, you know, as aggressive as he was and as like non considering of other options. So I think there probably will be uh, a a story that's just about his world, and maybe that's why they introduced it this way through this film. But I thought it was great to see it. I thought it was great to see those two worlds collide.
You know, you can end Marvel tomorrow. Everybody needs to seek therapy. Everybody needs to seek therapy. Seriously, seriously. Everybody's Marvel origin is like, damn, you need to speak to somebody about that instead of lashing out. Seriously, just speak to somebody. It's all right. We're growing up now, men now. You can see people. That's 2022. You can see
And
people about
you
you.
know what else I love? Your interview with Ludwig, I thought was so great because there were some subtle things that he talked about composing the film and how the Mayan history had kind of all been destroyed and they really didn't have any information to build the music around for his kingdom. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had to go like,
He went deep into like the
yeah,
drums
he had
and
to
like
go meet with
the
like
melody.
archaeologists, and they found like flutes that they had played, and the only way they could really figure out the sound of the music was which holes had the deepest impressions from being used the most. So I just thought I thought it was great how they really like dove into fully understanding and researching the history of the culture before they just threw it up on the screen. So they did a deep dive even for the music to understand it, and like for everyone to really experience this underworld environment. They all had to learn to swim. A lot of them couldn't swim, and they had to like learn to swim. I thought like they really invest, and then learning the languages and bringing in like when Sope Aluko spoke to you about them bringing in someone to really work with her on the language so that she could get every syllable, every click, and everything that needed to
And
make
this
that.
lady speaks 5 languages already.
Yeah, but she
She speaks
invested
five.
time and energy in her whole self into making sure that she was flawless with her accent and with speaking the language properly. And like I really applaud that whole cast for taking a deep dive into those characters into that world and making it real because Marvel fans take it seriously, and they really did. I think they did a good job. So shout out to Ryan Coogler, who he he did his thing again.
He did, and that's the only thing I was nervous about because reviews are up in the air, and again, when you have a base that's solid and the people believe in what you do, it doesn't matter what any critics say at the end of the day. Marvel fans, I was surprised, but I think it was our film, and as I do this, I think this is our film. So we came out together for that man and for Chadwick. It was like I think it was like our final send off to him. So I'll see it twice.
Yeah.
I saw it for free once. I won't pay the other time and see it again and contribute because I said to Ryan, I was like, you know what, in the interview, you changed Hollywood. And he was like, no, I didn't. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, you changed Hollywood, brother. You got to take that in. You're a $1 billion movie. Now people are like, oh, this doesn't sound like stupid anymore. Maybe I have a chance. And so I really wanted to give him his flowers in that interview. So please, please, please check out the interviews I did with the cast of Wakanda Forever. Rob, thank you for the editing. I mean, Rob's on point. It's a lot of work. He does a lot of things here behind the scenes.
I do my best. I do my best to contribute.
You do more than that, Rob. You do more. Awful critic, but you're amazing at everything else.
I
Joking.
think people would say that I'm fair. I'm fair. You just got
You're very fair.
But also, another thing from your interview with Ryan was when you asked him about a moment that he would rewind, and when he basically relived on camera the first time he met Chadwick Boseman. I thought that was so touching.
I almost posted that first but I thought that was like too much of a giveaway of the whole interview because that's the best part of the interview. But that was amazing. Listen, I've learned so much through Black film and doing interviews, and we came up with a concept that I think is really taking off now. And when you're asking on these interviews, hey, if you could rewind a part of your life, so I think about that for yourself. What would you do? and to have these people really open up and be honest with you about that. It's such a genuine moment, and we caught that on camera. Like, it's like a lot of people don't get that, and that's not the goal. I just want to make sure it's honest, and people love it and get to see a certain side. But I love that question. I think it's just changed everything for us, and where we can go and where the show can go. Rewind with Ro. So please, 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 tune in and check that out. Tell a friend. You never know. Can't hurt. Can't. There you go. So the big question today, Rob, scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to give this film? So excited for you to be just give it a 12. I know you are. That's what he does here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he does here.
But it's not fair because, and I'm going to tell you why it's not fair. It's not fair because we do have a little bit of an advantage that the average viewer doesn't have, because you get to have these conversations with people like Ryan Coogler, and you get to sit down with Sope Aluko, and you get to sit down with Ludwig, and you get to have authentic conversations with them, and you get to see the passion and the love that they put into making this beautiful piece of art. So you watch it differently, and the lens you watch it with is not as critical about things that don't really matter, when you know that he spent time with archaeologists to come up with the sound to tell the story of a kingdom that was underwater, that because the real kingdom had been destroyed. And like, when you find out things like that, like your opinion and your perspective when you're watching it is affected. And also because I am an actor and I understand what they're going through to build these characters and to bring these characters to life in a way that's true and authentic to the viewer. So I do view it with a different lens, and I give it a 10.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the build-up was so amazing. Thank you, Rob, for that. I mean, he went in. He explained his 10, ladies and gentlemen. Explained it. We got to start watching some bad movies because this man, woo.
Give me a bad movie. Give me a bad movie.
Not even a 9, Rob? 10.
Hey, Wakanda Forever, it gets a 10.
I'm going to give it an 8. I think the new character was forced a little bit. I love the intro, and again, I love to see brilliant young Black women out there doing their thing. But I was just Iron Man, what he had to go through to kind of do that. I was like, that's aggressive. And then there's a forced kiss at the end, which I think was unnecessary. Rob?
Oh man,
is that unnecessary? I don't care what people's preferences are and whatever you got to do. It was forced. It's a forced kiss. No? Okay. All right. My opinion is forced kiss. They didn't do it the first one. They do it on the side. They do it early in the movie. It's like at the end. Oh, we're just.
There was a kiss in the first one. Oh, you mean this character's kiss?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that character's kiss would have been earned in the first one.
What do you mean? They're saving stuff. What do you mean?
Yeah, but the in the first one, the kiss that was earned had to be Chadwick Boseman's kiss. Like it.
Of course. But then you go into some other stuff, and I'm like, I just felt it was forced. It was just unnecessary. Again, I think you can cut 30 minutes out and have a good time. Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld, she's in it, like all in this film. So they're setting up for the next one. And kind of tying these all in together. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Love the character development, which is beautifully done. The underwater, I don't know. I felt like it's kind of weird, right? Because you got to do everything kind of upside down and inverted when you're doing water scenes. And so it was way better, though, than not to mess with DC at all, but Aquaman. Like they were. It's hard, right, to do water scenes. And so they did a better justice, but I wish there was more to the underworld that I wish I could see. Because again, when I felt that energy in Wakanda, you know what? who knows? Maybe young Latin kids they felt that on the screen the way we felt it in the first one.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
don't know, but I just didn't feel like that same energy I felt when I saw Wakanda for the first time. I was like, oh, shit, this is Wakanda. Look at this. Like, yeah, I want to go there.
Well, we got a couple
So
underwater movies coming up for us to judge. So
we do. Oh, we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep. Blue people, Avatar everywhere.
we got
Avatar.
Avatar, we got The Little Mermaid, we got a lot coming up.
Oh man, Little Mermaids. That's ooh, people, calm down, calm down. We already. Anyway, okay. We're gonna finish this show out. Any last comments, Rob, before we finish up here?
Go see it. Support that movie. If you haven't already, go see it. I'm going to see it a second time this weekend, just because I want to go back and view it with a new
Yeah.
lens.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe I'll give it an 8 this time.
You're incapable of doing that, Rob. You're incapable of doing that. But again, that's what makes you special and unique. So thank you, Arigato. We're having a great time in Japan. We're going to take a break next week, so we'll see you in December. Everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. There's no Thanksgiving in Japan. They're already in Christmas mode. So it's very interesting to see the stores and shops to fast forward past Thanksgiving. It's like Christmas. Yeah. Christmas.
Mariah Carey playing everywhere.
No, but that should be playing everywhere. And
Yes.
I'm going to get my karaoke on at some point on this trip. I got to do that. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Val. Hello, Val. Miss
Val.
you guys. And I'm not making the meeting on Tuesday. It's not going to happen. That's not good. So sorry. Just to let you know. All right, man. Be safe, brother.
You too. Be safe out there. Have fun.
Thanks.